Okay, so My Hero Academia has a lot of problems, such as being insufferably slow and there being no real consequences for anyone's actions. But after seeing videos such as the perfect character design Bakugo and the redemption of Bakugo, which are jerking off My Hero Academia, Bakugo, and every MHA fan, I felt like it's time to speak up, because this is ridiculous. I honestly believe that the people who made those two videos are lying about their opinions and are making up reasons to love Bakugo just so the MHA fans won't get mad that they're talking shit about their favorite bad boy. Because not only is Bakugo not a perfect character, in fact, he is so ridiculously flawed that I just can't believe him as a character. The more you look into it, he makes no sense and is constantly contradicting himself and his motivations. But he's a cool, explosive boy, so as a guy I wish I was like him, and as a girl I wish I was fucked by him, so I'm gonna defend him and violently throw my excrement at anyone who criticizes him. The thing is, Bakugo at his core is a powerful cunt. Okay, so far we can all agree. But then, on top of that, he is not just tactically a genius in fights, he is also very observant in people and quickly calls out those who are being insincere, something that you need pretty high social intelligence to do with such precision as Bakugo does. He appears socially retarded because of his anger and the way he treats people, and especially Deku, which is his first contradiction. He is supposed to be very intelligent, but he acts like an angry dumbass. Nobody with his mental abilities would act this way. It made sense by excusing it as autism early on in the series, but like I said, no autist would be able to understand people this well. Examples of this is when he quickly realized by connecting the dots that Deku has All Might's powers, and when he called out Yoshindo on pretending to be a friendly boy when he actually turned out to be a sneaky boy, and this is just to name two. So Bakugo is an angry cunt who is smart, but his anger clouds his judgment? This would honestly make a lot of sense, if only it wasn't for Bakugo's relentless bullying of Deku, who was the weakest boy in his class in middle school. I've heard it all. Everyone repeats it over and over again, regurgitating. Bakugo just bullied Deku because he has a superiority complex, or wait, no, inferiority complex, or whatever. He just wanna be the best, so he needs to assert himself over the weak. I'm sorry, but just because someone gets told they're gifted and amazing from a young age, it doesn't make them bully the weakest chicken in the pecking order this severely. In fact, that behavior is more typically from someone who themselves is being bullied and is also close to the bottom of the hierarchy. They feel helpless because someone stronger is picking on them, and they take out their anger on the weaker. But Bakugo doesn't seem like he gets bullied at all, not by other students, and his family seems well functional. In middle school, he was the top dog, and he still took out his anger on Deku, the bottom bitch. I can agree his anger makes more sense later when Deku turns out to have powers and surpasses him, yada yada, but that does not excuse Bakugo's behavior in middle school. So how can Bakugo's behavior possibly make sense? Damn, I really wish we didn't have to devolve into this, but there is one option. Bakugo loves Deku. Only unwanted love could bring this much hate. In fact, the more I analyze Bakugo's behavior, the more apparent it is that this is the only explanation. He's an angry gay boy who refuses to confront his feelings towards Deku, so instead he hurts him. This is not uncommon for young boys, whether they are gay or not. Love in general is not manly, and if there's any fear of rejection, rather than manning up and taking the risk, instead they bully their darling. I'm no psychologist, but my personal theory about this is simply because love and hate are each extremely strong feelings, perhaps the strongest ones. But they are two sides of the same coin, and you can't have one without the other. Both of them are rooted in obsession, and sometimes the line between them gets blurred. For example, when someone murders their cheating spouse, or actively tries to take down their crush after rejection. What really made me think that Bakugo being gay was the only option is how he doesn't tell or show his soft side or vulnerability to anyone but Deku. Why would he be the weakest around the person he detests the most if he wasn't secretly in love? Anyways, discussing and going on about this doesn't really get anywhere because My Hero Academia is trash and there's no way they even thought this through. There's just no way that Bakugo is actually gay for Deku, even though it's the only explanation. It's just simply bad writing, just like the rest of My Hero Academia. Lastly, I'd like to add that Bakugo's motivations behind becoming a hero is questionable. He just wants to be the best, but he doesn't care about saving people or protecting the weaker. Isn't protecting the weak like the #1 thing a hero should strive for? So why the heck did he bully Deku then, you dumb fucking weebs? And okay, let's just say for a moment that Bakugo wanting to be #1 is totally not a shallow goal. It's not fueled by anything. It's just something he wants because he got a cool power and he's smart, so we want to be the best. Nothing traumatic happened in the past that made him have this yearning. Would I really allow someone like him to become a hero? Since he's not gay, that must mean he's just a sadistic cunt who likes to bully the weak and doesn't give a fuck about saving anyone. Someone as smart as him should at the very least pretend like he has anything heroic about him. All the fucking characters in this mess of a series just keep saying and doing things that no real person would do because it's so contradictory. The writer wanted to come off as making them less shallow, but instead it just makes them unbelievable. The characters are very much just suffering from the Marvel syndrome, where they are based on their power, like Bakugo's explosive power and personality, for example, and then the writer adds something special about them to make them more deep and believable. A good example of this is when Uraraka all of a sudden goes from cute, obnoxious cheerleader girl to determined badass, or how Lira can't decide if he's a serious character or annoying comic relief. Also, his whole getting revenge on his brother thing was so stupid, and he clearly learned nothing since he didn't stop the Bakugo rescue mission. It's so rushed and cheap, and don't you fucking dare tell me it makes the characters less shallow. It's like sloppily putting a bow on a turd and presenting it as chocolate. I'm Anger, the self-hating weeb, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe. I have a lot coming up in the future. But that was all. You may leave now.